Okay, so I flipped to the back. So those of you on video, I was just talking to them real quick about citing our source. So we write Boland 12, then we flip back into the works cited. Okay, and that is a separate page at the back of our paper, okay, that will list the sources we use. Now, for you guys, it's pretty easy. Most of you are going to have 2 sources. Logophiles, you may have a couple more. Yeah?
So we have to do a works cited and a bibliography?
No, works cited is the bibliography.
Are we doing an annotated bibliography?
We're not doing an annotated. Yeah, the works cited is the bibliography. The words are used pretty interchangeably. We call it works cited. When I told them they had a bibliography that's due, I probably should just say it's a works cited that's due. I want to see your works cited. Does that make sense, Olivia? Okay. So you go to the works cited, and then what do I have on the works cited? Well, I have Boland's book here, and then I have a second book by Smith. Okay? Another book that I used. And they're in alphabetical order. Now, alphabetical doesn't mean that much when there's 2 books, right? Pretty simple to find the book. But if you had 1,000 books or 100 books, you'd be really glad it was in alphabetical order so you could find them. Okay? So you put them in alphabetical order just by the first letter here. Now, if you use a website, which is more and more and more and more common, there's various ways people cite your site websites. Generally for me, okay, because I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty of it, what I want you to do is put the title, sorry. If there is an author, put the author. Often there is not, right? There's often not an author.
How do you feel about using like the formats where you just put in a link and there's like websites where you can just go and it'll set it up where you can copy and paste it on paper? Is that all right to do? Because it builds your works cited.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. You can go and it has like an built-in search bar, and you can search for your work and make sure it's the one that you're actually using, and then it'll just automatically make your whole little thing for citation. Dear
goodness, I am like so old. I don't.
It's okay, I didn't know.
This is new to me. So you can show me this. Do you have any experience with this?
Yeah, you just type in your stuff and it
makes your work cited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if it does it in alphabetical order, it'll proofread your paper. Purdue OWL does all of it, and I've taken 4 college English classes, and everyone was okay with it.
I am okay with it. I think it's brilliant. I just never ever heard of it till this exact moment. Okay. So yes, if it'll do your, I don't consider that cheating, okay? Cheating is writing something and saying it's yours and it's not yours. Getting the actual way that your works cited should be set up.
Do we have to cite Purdue OWL?
You have to cite Purdue OWL for doing it. Yeah. If there's a way that you can put the sources in it and it makes your works cited for you, I'm okay with that.
Even hanging intensive.
My gosh, this is just.
It's so fast.
Y'all
so
don't understand. I know I don't. I mean, most of you do think I'm kind of old, but like, when I took a class in high school, a typing class. I was the last year that was on a regular typewriter. So if you made a mistake, you had to like white out with the little whiteout thing. Do you know why they call cut and paste? Because in the olden days, secretaries would actually have to cut a piece of paper and glue it over the error and then retype. So we have come a very long way.
Purdue OWL has been out for a few decades.
Well, this is the first, you're the first students that have ever said it to me. So if there's a way that this is doing it, that's fine. If not, okay, I usually say you put the author and then you put the title, and then often people will put like the date accessed or something like that in there. However, Purdue OWL tells you to do the website works for me. I don't ever think the date access really is that important. I'm always just like, what am I going to do with that? But anyways, you want to put these in alphabetical order. So then when I'm reading Jaren's paper, and I'm reading through, and Jaren takes something from somewhere in Boland, I go, oh, and I flip to the works cited, and there it is, it's Boland. Now, here's the other major important thing. Please don't shut down and not listen to me on this, because this is the one that everybody messes up on. When do you put something in quotations, and when do you not?
When you're quoting it, and when you're paraphrasing.
If it is exactly word for word, you put it in quotes. Does everybody get that? If you take the idea and change it around, you're paraphrasing, you don't need to. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of this, but just changing a the or an and is not paraphrasing. Do you guys get that? That's sort of copying. So the idea is that you read this whole chapter, and I'm going to say right now, Micah, tell me about chapter 1, Defending Your Faith, and you're just summarizing it for me. You're going to cite Defending Your Faith, but you didn't copy it from there. Now, there's also a way that if you use very long quotes, you block them into your paper. If you use a very long quote, I can help you with that. Those are things we can work on as we're going. You don't want your paper to be full of quotes, like quote, one line, quote, one line, quote, one line. Okay? You want it to be your own words. All right? Any questions about any of that? Anything? And I will be there to walk you through it, not on my 10-day vacation, but I will be there to answer your questions and to say, you know, as you turn stuff in, rough draft, etc. So Roadsters, you are going to choose, and it's on here, it's due March 11th, so you have time, if you're going to do note cards or an outline. All right? And so you can choose which of the two you do. So you basically have 2 weeks to make sure you have your books, get your thesis, just start reading about your topic. Okay? Yes?
Logofiles have to do the outline.
That's what I was just going to go to and see. I think I had Logofiles. What did I have you guys doing? Let's see.
Do you have to do a cover page too?
You do not have to do a cover page. Yes, I have you doing a complete sentence outline. If Logofiles, you would really rather use a note card style, you may do that. Talk to me about it. Okay? The advantage of note cards is you can go through your research, write something down, write what page it came from, put it in a stack, right? And then go back later and look at it. The outline can work the same way. Does anybody have questions about the outline or note cards or confused about what to do? I don't want to spend a lot of time if you guys have it.
What do you mean by sentence outline? It's not just an outline of what you're doing.
It's an outline of what you're doing, yeah, but it's still noting like, well, I guess it's probably not. I guess you're probably right, Olivia. The outline is not going to do what the note cards do. The outline is going to be more like, this is what I'm going to cover in my first paragraph. So that is true. The note cards go a little bit more in depth, okay? And if you're overwhelmed with the concept of the paper, I feel like the note cards can be a really good way to, you know, as Kari's reading this book and she goes, oh, this is a really cool thing on page 63. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, it's a really cool thing on page 136. Now you can put little tabs in it, okay? But you could also have note cards and you just have it, you know, the author's name of who it came from, and you just are writing down the things that are interesting you that you might want to include in your paper. Yes?
If you're doing the outline, can you also do note cards?
You may do both. Yeah. If you are a really good writer and this type of stuff doesn't overwhelm you, you may not need the outline or the note cards truly. I don't write that way, okay? And if you really feel, you are welcome to message me if you're like, Wendy, I got this. Can I not do the outline? I'll have a conversation with you. I am not here to waste anybody's time, okay? But if this is a little overwhelming to you, the note cards and the outline can help get your thoughts in order a little bit, okay? Other questions? Anything? So basically, while I'm gone, it's going to be super simple. You're going to read your novel, Defending Your Faith. You're going to read your book. You're going to answer your questions, and you're going to work on your paper. And you're going to, the only thing that's due for the Logofiles, I actually don't even have anything done. Logofiles 2, thesis, and I have preliminary bibliography. I'm going to change that to works cited. Due the day we get back. So what I want you guys to do is to just read about your topic. Okay? I'm not trying to rush this paper. Read about it. Start researching. Take your time. Okay? I'm probably not going to have, I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm not going to have any other assignments up. That's what you got until we get back March 11th together. Or, sorry, we'll get back together March 4th. I'll be back March 4th. I'm just going to miss this next week.
Maybe I can run a study hall.
Okay, so that'll be great. She'll be in here next week, So if you're here and stuck here and just want to come in here, and she writes a lot too, you could ask some questions. You guys can use this as a study hall period. That would be great. Okay, anything else? All right, so we have about 20 minutes left. We are going to start reading The Outsiders, okay? And this book is going to be a lot about differences between groups, and there's going to be a lot of moral dilemmas in this novel as well. Okay, so for about 5 minutes, I'm going to ask a couple of questions here. I want you to just pair off with somebody again. Just pair off. You're going to have a little time for discussion. All right? Here's the first question. I want you to see what you think. In spite of outward differences, people want the same things: love, acceptance, and respect. Yeah, talk about it with your partner. Do you agree? RJ, why don't you come up with these guys here? And you can have strongly agree. Let's do that. Strongly agree. Strongly disagree. Agree, disagree, or neutral. In spite of outward differences, people want the same things: love, acceptance, and respect. Okay, what do we think? Group opinions.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree. Did anybody not strongly agree?
Agree.
All right, what'd you guys say?
Well, I think that women value love over respect, and men value usually respect over love.
Okay. So maybe a different weight in how they view it. What'd you guys think?
I think I agree. Some people just don't want to be loved. They just hate themselves.
But even in their hating of themselves, there's still kind of that desire to be loved by someone.
That would be the argument.
Because they might not love themselves.
They're not, yeah, pretty much.
They still want to be loved, but as soon as
They're trying to give them. I think whether or selfish intention, everybody wants to be loved and respected.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like, okay, so we're mostly in the same thing. Question 2. There is never a good reason to commit murder. Everyone strongly disagrees right off the bat?
disagree.
Is it murder or
Can you rephrase it?
is it like preempted, like murder, like they would?
It just, the statement is, there is never a good reason to commit murder.
I kill it. I think we're neutral.
Most are strongly disagree.
We're neutral.
Yeah. They're neutral.
Because like in some cases, like if like say someone did something bad to one of your kids, like I would have killed them.
Like I watched a movie, I forgot what the name was, but like this guy raped his daughter, and this dude like goes and kills the dude that did that. Like, I mean, I feel like that.
Yeah, like
That's revenge,
I would
actually.
kill somebody.
Yeah.
A Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. Just killing someone because you want to. Now that's not okay, but like you know.
If they have something
So we actually have some people in here though that say revenge killing would be okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
it's just different though. It's not like
If it was my kid, I would kill someone.
Yeah.
we don't
I mean,
have much context for that, Leah.
If somebody hurt your child badly.
I wouldn't call it revenge killing.
I would call it killing because you're a jerk. I'm gonna kill you because you're a jerk.
Killing because you're a jerk.
Because you're better off not here.
When I was 17, I almost told another girl that
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
The murder is murder. Like someone killed the family.
2 months later, she came back in.
Wow.
Well, that is murder. Well, that's not murder. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. But it's still murder. Guys have to do that. So it's wrong.
Self-defense, right? All right, next question. You can really tell a lot about a person by how he or she looks. Let me ask you this. Have you guys ever had a moment where you've met someone that you had a preconceived notion about them, and then you met them and you went, holy cow, they are nothing like I thought they were going to be? Every time. What do you guys think?
Can you read it one more time?
Yeah, so the question is, you can really tell a lot about a person by how he or she looks, because this is going to be something in the outsiders. These guys are a gang, right? They're going to have their blue jeans and their shirts and their combs in their pocket, and they're going to, you know, be looking like something. And does that actually define who they are?
No. Oftentimes, our influence
Yeah, Jonathan said up here, you know, the truth is you usually can look at a person and make some assumptions. People look at me and assume I play basketball, right? They happen to be right in that case. But you can look at someone and think, oh, they look like they might be a little clumsy, is what Jonathan's example was, or really smart, or upset. Athletic. You usually can spot athletic fairly well. But then there are people who have a look on their face, like an angry look or a sad look. I had a friend like that in high school, but when you talk to her, she wasn't that way.
I feel like you might be able to tell like the emotions, but I feel like you can't really tell a person's personality based on.
Because you know how like, have you ever met a biker and like bikers are like supposed to be mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like this friendly old man that's like super bubbly, and we're like, what the heck?
Yep, I agree.
That happens.
That definitely happens. Okay, here's another question. People from different groups, backgrounds, are treated differently in society, in school, in public, by the police, etc. Yeah, I'd say that's a strongly agree. I mean,
We strongly agree.
Yeah, oh, good. Okay. Is there anybody that doesn't strongly agree with that? I mean, I think that's definitely. Are there people who don't do it? You look like you're not sure, Elijah.
I mean, I agree. It's just not.
It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't always. And I mean, it's gotten better
Yeah.
as time goes on. But I agree. It's not maybe strong.
I think that's what most people would probably say, right? Okay. Being street smart is more important than being book smart.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree here, right off the bat.
Define street smart.
Street smart is usually defined as knowing the rules of life.
Yeah, I'd say both.
The ability to manage or succeed in difficult or dangerous situations, especially in big towns or cities.
I feel like being street smart can also apply in like being able to like have like regular, basic, everyday conversations with people. Because I feel like it's really important to be able to talk to people, and so I feel like that also kind of goes with that, and not necessarily being like able to like walk down the street or like being street smart or whatever, but like yeah.
Also, just you're probably talking more Zeta like
to
more aware, like personally aware of life, the life skills, I guess. Yeah.
Like we would all say Einstein was book smart, but he was so crazy he thought his bathtub was his desk.
Right.
So he'd lock himself in there for hours and then realize, oh, I'm not at my desk. So often smart people are insane.
And that can definitely be true. Yeah, Jaron. And say again, in the 30s.
In the 30s, it would be more valuable to be an uneducated farmer that knew the ways of the crop than someone who just graduated from Harvard and has never been in the field in their life.
That's actually a really good point. A lot of generations will define
A little bit of both.
a little bit of
If you
both.
think about it, like half the stuff you learn in school you don't like use as you get older, so.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I try to tell you all. I mean, my goal as your teacher is to prepare you if you go take college classes. That's my goal. But does it matter truly if you can remember who Robert Frost is?
He was pretty cool.
He was a pretty cool guy. I think you kind of should know Robert Frost. That's probably a bad example, but what is the point of all the things we're learning about? I mean, yes, is it preparing you for possible things that you might take on the ACT or in college? Yes, but a lot of it is just learning to learn how to learn. And I'll be honest, one of the funnest parts for me with homeschooling has been all the things I'm learning that I never learned. I was just a very subpar student, K through 12. I was an athlete and I just did my thing. I was a very good student in college because I was at a public university and all my teammates partied, and my boyfriend was back in Florida and I didn't want to go party, so I studied. There wasn't a lot of other stuff to do. So that's why I became a good college student. But it really wasn't in me to be a great student like that young. Okay, so.
I like these questions.
Good.
Yeah.
Most people pick friends who have similar interests and backgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strongly agree.
I feel like I have so many different friends. Like, Lee and I are pretty similar, but then like I'll go over and I'm like really good with this person that has completely different opinions and stuff like that.
So what do you guys think overall?
I would agree.
Agree? Heidi mostly agrees? Yeah, agree? In the back there, Charlie and Trent? Disagree. All right, do we have a, we got another disagree? Why are you disagreeing?
Because it's like, you know, interests and background can be important, but really a lot of your friends are not going to have the same interests, and they're going to have completely different backgrounds. And if you're just like living identical lives, then it's not really even going to be as enjoyable to be around that person, because you already know everything they're doing.
Okay, Olivia?
Some of the worst marriages are the people who are the exact same.
That is a lot of what people say.
I mean, it's hard to get married to yourself.
That is what a lot of people say.
I couldn't stand it.
Legally and otherwise.
I would.
I don't think I could live with myself.
I don't think I could live with
I would
myself.
agree with the interests part, but the background part.
Okay, so Jonathan's dividing it between interest and background. That background you kind of have similar.
Now, it is different with romance, though. Very different.
So romance is totally separate from friendships. How is that?
Well, first of all, you're getting to know the opposite gender, which is already so
Terrible.
different in so many ways.
Terrifying. Yeah. Yeah. And what you're looking for, right? And it is true. I think what you said in the back, Olivia, is true. And people will often tell you that. I know in the case of my husband and myself, you know, I'm an extrovert, he's an introvert, and he will often say to me, thank goodness I'm married to you, or I would like do nothing with no one. Like I would like live by myself in a hut. I don't know if he would, but you know, and so a lot of times you actually are kind of opposite of each other in those things. My husband was always more of an intellectual and I was not an intellectual. I still don't think I'm an intellectual, but I'm finding more joy in intellectual pursuits. But my husband and I did have similar backgrounds. And I think sometimes that can be important to kind of have a somewhat of a starting idea. Okay, well, that's all we got through. So if you have any questions, let me know. I am leaving Thursday and I will return the following Sunday. So you won't hear from me during that time. I don't think it'll be too much you need to hear from me. Yes. Okay.
It's the.
Oh,
You were asking.
I forgot. No. Tell me you did it on a comment and I'll give you an A on it.
Okay.
No, I'm going to believe you. Because I forgot.
You said